Now, joining me is Director of the Centre for Youth Policy at Menzies Research Centre, Freya Leach. Freya, you've been busy at the University of Sydney. Let's have a look.
We're here at Sydney Uni O Week and it's time to clean up campus.
Not sure why you didn't take those Marxist porn posters down as well, but tell me, how bad is the anti-Israeli sentiment on university campuses?
So USYD's just gone back. It's O Week this week and it is reaching new levels. Almost every second stall has a Palestine flag at it. We decided to do a bit of a, we call it a Freedom Convoy through the centre of Eastern Avenue. And so we walked down, members of the Conservative Club holding an Australian flag and an Israeli flag. And we got absolutely swarmed by socialists, Jew haters, anti-Israel activists. It was horrible, and they basically followed us all the way around campus. So it is seriously, it's really disturbing. It's actually almost dangerous, physically dangerous, to be openly supporting Israel on campus right now.
It's just insane. You probably will get less grief supporting Hamas than you would supporting Israel on some of these university campuses. This is how crazy things have become, and we need to address it because this is no longer just a fringe element. It's bleeding into other parts of society, and this is an example from London. Soho Theatre has condemned the actions of comedian Paul Curry after he targeted a Jewish man who refused to stand up for the Palestinian flag. We're learning a little bit more about just how bad this incident was. Have a look at this.
The comedian began swearing at and insulting a Jewish audience member before encouraging the crowd to join in and ordering him to leave the venue. Leav Eitan says he was targeted because he refused to give a standing ovation after Curry started waving a Palestine flag on stage.
He tried to incite the entire crowd against us, and the atmosphere was deteriorating quite quickly. It really did feel like there could be a danger to life immediately if we didn't leave.
Palestine will live forever!
Paul Curry has been a vocal critic of Israel and supporter of the Palestinian cause. Before the performance, he had been out on a march in central London.
I would say that the way to demonstrate for that and to support his cause isn't to pick on people in his crowd, to abuse them and to threaten them and to intimidate them and to kick them out of his show.
Leav says he fled the performance for his own safety, but received no support from the Soho Theatre. In a statement, the venue said, "We are sorry and saddened by an incident which has caused upset and hurt to members of the audience."
Freya, that comic is coming to Melbourne for the Comedy Festival. I'm not suggesting he shouldn't come, but there are certainly calls from some for his shows to be canned. Where do you stand on this issue?
It's really challenging because I obviously believe in freedom of speech, and in many senses I think, you know, that comedian has every right to show his true colours. If he wants to support Hamas, by all means let him expose himself for a terror supporter or you know, targeting Jews. Then at least he's exposed and we can all see where he actually stands. When you eliminate freedom of speech, people who actually are anti-Semitic or do support terror organisations can get away with it because they're not exposed in public. But at the same time, I think targeting a Jewish person at a comedy show, that is totally different. That is not just exercising freedom of speech, that is actually targeting someone because of their religion, because of their ethnicity, something they did not choose. And I think this is part of a broader trend we're seeing, which is the radical left and the pro-Palestinians trying to alienate and push Jewish and pro-Zionist people out of public life. We see it at USYD. You can't be an openly Jewish student on campus. You can't carry an Israeli flag on campus. You get alienated and ostracized. This is their strategy in every sector of our society. They're trying to push Zionists and Jewish people to the fringe.
Oh, it's fine if you're Jewish as long as you're a self-loathing Jew. If you are against Israel, if you're anti-Zionist, you don't actually believe Israel has a right to exist, then they love you. But if you actually believe that Israel should be able to defend itself, then you are... well, you're not just criticised, you're sometimes threatened. And what happened in that comedy show, as you heard from the guy, the crowd was encouraged to turn against him as well, and he felt for his safety he had to leave. Now, we spoke earlier in the week about hundreds of Jewish people having their personal details leaked from a private WhatsApp group. I've talked to several people who were on that list. The Australian today has done a superb piece highlighting what happened, who some of the main culprits were, who was pushing this in social media. Freya, what has been the fallout from this entire ugly episode?
It's just devastating. It's completely and utterly devastating for the people in this group chat who've had their personal details leaked online to a vicious and angry mob. I actually was speaking to one woman earlier this week who's a photographer who's received death threats, horrible comments on her businesses. People have gone on to Google and left 1-star reviews just because she's Jewish and she was in a group chat where she could be supported by other Jews. It's horrible, and it's also devastating for our country. Are we really at a point where people can make lists of Jews and then publish them online for people to target? I'm so disturbed as an Australian that this is happening in our country in the 21st century. This is more reminiscent of 1930s Germany than it is of 2024 Australia.
Now, you've got a march, a pro-Israel march. Just tell us where people can go and what time.
Neveraganisnow.com.au. You can register for the tickets and you'll be sent the location. It's going to be in town in Sydney, 3 p.m. this Sunday. This is a march against anti-Semitism and a march for our Australian values of tolerance and respect.
Freya Leach, I applaud the work you're doing, and you're a brave young woman to be walking in a university campus with an Australian flag, let alone an Israeli flag, is a brave move indeed. And it's sad that it's brave. It should not be anything that is controversial. Freya Leach, thank you so much for your time.